Welcome to Real Talks with Pings. Thank you for the love we've been receiving on the channel. Please keep subscribing, liking and commenting and sharing the videos. So today we have a special guest. I'm going to ask her to introduce herself before we introduce the topic of the day.
Thank you, Pinky, and thank you for having me on your show. I am Tankiso Motipi. I'm a mother to 3 beautiful kids. That's it.
Okay. We're going to talk about postnatal depression. I think a lot of mothers don't talk about it and the society because this is a topic that touches everyone. If you are not a mother like me and she is a mother, you know someone who's a mother. So this is for all of us. Tankiso, I know you're not a professional, but because you experienced it, can you explain in your own words what you think postnatal depression is?
Thank you, Pinky, and I'm glad that you mentioned that I'm not a professional. Mm-hmm. So I'll just explain it considering my own experiences. It's simply depression that one has after giving birth. Mm. Yes. So I experienced it, I think, just 2 days after delivery, even though it comes in different stages and it's different levels of tension for you to get to a point where it's called depression. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So can you tell us what are the symptoms that you experience to start thinking maybe something is not normal?
Mm-hmm. I was very emotional. Mm-hmm. And I struggled to cope. Mm-hmm. It was very difficult. I loved the babies. I really wanted to bond with them, and I think I really did. Mm. For me, surprisingly, people usually say you don't want to bond with the baby, you don't like them. But for me, I loved them so much that I ended up being paranoid.
Okay.
And I struggled to cope. But in my case, it was caused by exhaustion.
Okay.
You know, I was very exhausted, and unfortunately, a few people, or rather nobody, realized that I was exhausted, including myself. So, there too, when I was in hospital, mm-hmm. I felt that I'm not okay. My body really wants to shut down. It needs to rest. But my mind was telling me, you need to be awake for the babies. Mm. You know? So it got to a point where everything just went blank and I just screamed. I couldn't even explain when I was asked what was happening. And I just said, I don't know, maybe I'm dying. My babies need help. Sweet. That's how I experienced it. Mm. My gyna was called and she tried to calm me down. Mm-hmm. And at that stage, it was not yet postpartum depression. Mm-hmm. She told me, don't let yourself to get there. It's just baby blues. Okay. But then, like I said, it's different levels of tension where you will eventually get to postpartum depression. And a professional is the one who has to diagnose you. Mm-hmm. So for me, I moved all those levels until I think it was 3 months later when they told me this is postpartum depression. Mm-hmm. Yes.
I think you've already touched on the causes. I was going to ask you what you think caused it. You said you think you were exhausted. Mm-hmm. Do you think exhaustion is the only thing that could cause it? Is it exhaustion after having kids or during pregnancy or?
It's different causes. So since I'm not a professional, I'll just share my own story. Yes. During my pregnancy was very good. Okay, I have twins. I didn't mention that.
Oh, amazing. You have 2 beautiful boys.
So I have two adorable boys. They're 15 months old now.
Agreed.
So I think I wasn't aware how exhausting it's going to be, how difficult it was going to be. I was just excited with the fact that I was having twins. It's such a blessing, hey?
I love twins, by the way.
But that's, God will give you twins.
I receive.
So when they arrived, maybe that's when I realized, and I really struggled to be a super mom. I wanted to be a super mom. I just said, I'm going to be the best mom for these boys. Mm. So I think I overworked myself. I didn't want to rest. But honestly speaking, you also need help. So in hospital, I think that night when this whole thing happened, they didn't realize what I was going through.
Okay.
Yeah, I really think they didn't realize. And my opinion is that when someone has twins, you should give that person some special attention. That is my opinion on my experiences. But it's just this normal, everyone will just treat you like a normal. Well, it's normal to have twins, but it's double everything, double the joy, double the work, double everything. I just got overwhelmed. But I was just so scared for the babies. So the cause was I was exhausted, I was overworked, and number two, I was very paranoid. Because the moment exhaustion came, I couldn't just rest. I was like, this baby who's going to look after them when you sleep? There was a time when I was breastfeeding, but nothing was coming. I think that's when I started to overreact. But then we went home. It still happened even when I was home. It still happened. I would be very overwhelmed. I think the challenge is all of us, including myself, the mother, we just say, everyone is just saying she's happy about her baby. She's still coping. And somehow, even culturally, we feel utlameha hoba strong for bana. Ke mosadi, utlameha hoba strong. So even when I showed the signs when I was home, everyone didn't understand what was happening. You know, and because when that happened, I did realize that it was because I tried to be strong too much to a point when my body and my mind can no longer take it. And then I would just start shaking. So that's when they realized something was wrong.
I want to go back. You mentioned that you have twins now. But at the start, you also said you have 3 kids. I know there's a lot of misconceptions about postnatal depression. People assume when you're a new mother, you might struggle to cope than when you are having a second born. In your case, you had twins. So can we just talk about that? Because when I was researching, it says 1 in 10 women experience postnatal depression. But this is a US study. It could be more in Lesotho. So what do you say to this lack of understanding that once you've had your first child, you should be fine with the second one?
Actually, I think my opinion, people who are at risk are people who are a little bit older than the young ones. Of course, if you are very young, Leona is not very healthy, you are not yet strong enough. But as we grow older, yes, I was 34 when the twins came. Yes. So, with my first child, I was still at varsity. So, obviously, that was the child my parents had to raise. I was doing my 3rd year when she came. So, the second one, I was like,
I want to be there.
I want to be there for these babies. I'm going to be a mother. I'm going to be hands-on. And I think I pushed too hard. I want to take a blame now on this one. Number 2, when it happens, your family, honestly, all your loved ones don't know what to do. Because the saddest part is that postpartum depression is that type of illness that no one is talking about. Somehow it's like it's a taboo, but it's there. Once you talk to 2-3 women, because now I love to share my experiences. I don't want to bottle up the feelings that I have. Maybe the activist in me is always talking. Then I realized, if I went through this at my age, I mean, I had everything covered. But I still experienced this. Can I really be alone in this thing? And as we talked, I was shocked to realize that so many of us are going through this, but nobody's sharing the story. Some people even die. You know, as I was talking to colleagues, friends, I realized that people are even dying from this illness. But we just say, you know, that's what it's been said. Complications after delivery. But then, as I was talking to one colleague, she said, I remember a new mother. She was just running and going on the street. And eventually she died. And people didn't understand. And I felt it because ha ntwetsa story sena sa motswetsi eno a motjha ke ile ka hopola my story in the hospital when I was screaming. And the saddest part, even the health professionals themselves don't know how to give you support when it happened. My Guyana came there, I love her so much.
And shout out to you.
She gave me all the support I needed. She had to move all the way from where she was to come to the hospital where I was. Because Mona Gaufela, people didn't know what to do. Well, let me say didn't know. I really don't want to say much about that. But I was really surprised to find that the nurses were just looking at me like that. As I was screaming, I wanted to cry out for help. But I didn't even know how to express myself then because Lena, I didn't understand what was going on. And Hele, I still recall that time when 3 of us were crying. Remember I said, and I overreacted when I realized that there was no milk coming out. So it happened for quite some time, and I was now scared for the babies. So they were now crying, and I was crying with them. The 3 of us were crying, and the nurses were moving in and out as if nothing was happening. I still get emotional sometimes on the subject, but it made me aware of one thing. Postpartum depression, ke taboo Lesotho. I get even Lesotho fair, but it's a taboo here. And a woman who is showing symptoms of postpartum tension or which may lead to depression, whatever, get drama queen. Be a woman, be strong, and that's the attitude across the board. You meet Neamuholo maybe who is your relative. And when it happens, say, hi, so, not just a relative, anyone, I realized it. People our age, I was sharing this story sometime, and the other lady said, why would someone have tension when they have a new baby? They're supposed to be happy for their baby. Hi, this drama queens, So, honestly, there's a lot of awareness to be done. And
lack of understanding on our part as a society. We really don't understand it. That's why I brought you to the show, because I saw you sharing your story on Facebook and I thought that was very powerful. So I think for everyone watching, they must just know that you are not alone, and it would be nice to seek help if you see the symptoms of postnatal depression. But Tankiso, in closing, can you just maybe tell us, in your experience, having experienced it, how would you like us to support our sisters, our aunts, our mothers, our friends that are experiencing postnatal depression?
I know we are all busy in our own lives, but that time when you go see a friend, a new mother, you are there to just gush, let's not just do that. Make her aware that you can rest for even 10 minutes. I'll watch the babies. Because a new mom is aloof. Even if, unless someone assures you that rest, I will take care of the baby, she won't rest. So when you just go there to see her, to visit her, just let her know you can rest for 10 minutes. I will take care of everything, and do that, because that may save a life. And to the new moms, my advice to you is take a chill pill. Just relax, and you know what? Limit your expectations. Because when you are looking forward to being a new mom, you only see the positives. And you forget about the sleepless nights. You just see all the warm moments that you're going to share with your little ones. But also leave room that there's a time when they will cry. Because for me, it was 2 and it took time for us to adjust to a routine. Of course, we adjusted very well afterwards. But you may find that the other one is awake for 2 hours. You soak them and you're like, oh, he's sleepy. When you try to rest, the other one is waking up. And it's another 2 hours. And then you're like, oh, finally this one is sleeping too. when you try to rest, the first one is going to wake up and need a diaper change. So night duties were the ones which were very difficult for me, and I tried not to ask for help. And I asked for help when it was too late. Most importantly, seek professional help. Psychologists understand the situation. They will never judge you. They are not your family. They are not your friends. And they will be very precise to you where you are wrong. But they will give you all the support you need for you to just go there and vent and cry. Because there's a time when you're going to be angry. So take a chill pill. And because I think baby blues, it's normal to have baby blues. But for it to get to depression, it's how well we manage the situation, the type of support that you get. So families, let's remember, sometimes it's not easy for the new mom to ask for help. Especially, or rather all the females. We know our maternal instincts. You know as a mother what is it that you're supposed to do to support him. So don't wait for her to say, please, I need help. Because at that stage, you may realize that it's too late. Otherwise, this is well managed. If you're given enough support, fortunately, I was able to seek help before things were. Maybe I would be gone by now. And don't be paranoid. Number one, I was like, my babies are going to die. Every time I looked at them, I said, this one is too tiny. Oh God, he mustn't die. Then after that, when we moved that stage, then it was me. God, am I dying? Why am I not healing? So let's not be paranoid.
Thank you so much, Tankiso, for sharing your story. It's so important. I can't say any more than you said. Just seek help if you think you have postnatal depression, and we are here to support you. And I'm dressed by the beautiful Titana. Check out their website, www.titana.co.ns. So I will be dressing in different attires to show you how you can play around with you even for the next episode. So thank you so much for joining us. Bye for now. See you in the next episode.